Welcome to my channel. I am Thomas Sim, E3009. Today, actually 26th of December, just past our Christmas celebration. I am doing this video recording for the building up of my office. So this is consider as a summary of all the work I have done for building up a new office. So maybe it will be beneficial to you who is also setting up your agency office. In 2 months plus, I've not been doing much video. So this is, as I promised before, a record of my spending and expenses, budget, everything for doing up a new estate agency office. Let me begin. Welcome to my channel. I'm Thomas Sim, E3009. Today is 26th of December 2023. This one prepared on the 25th of November, exactly 1 month ago, while I was rushing to complete the renovation of my office. So this 170 recording, building up an office. Let me begin. So how much is it to set up an estate agency office? So this one is a question, I guess most of you who is passing the exam and thinking of having your own practice, you want to look into even eventually setting up your own agency practice. So this is on experience sharing from a place in Kuching. So maybe in bigger city or bigger places, you may have to spend more. So the other thing is that do you need a lavish lifestyle or you need a atas feeling for your new office? So this is very personal. In fact, the budget actually depends on how much atas you want to feel. Well, in real life, what you get is in the sense a lot of new, or you are taking over from somebody else, new to you place is actually leaking ceiling, water seeping from wall, half done partition, all kinds of problem with the flooring, with the cement flooring, with potholes, dirty walls, and all those things. So I show you some of the pictures. So if you can see, this is the office before I took over. It was used by a company that deals with repackaging. They actually do wholesale and they do repackaging in this level office. It's actually on the second floor, so they use it as almost an assembly office for their worker packaging. So they didn't care about the seeping wall with the water coming from the rain. Of course, this one is a corner lot, so a corner lot exposed to rainfall getting through the wall. Also, this is the front office facing the main road. As you can see, this is actually the small office that they have partitioned up, doing some packaging work. And you have this partitioning, half partitioning inside the building. Of course, you can see very bunker looking type of wall from the leaking of the roof. And the distance, you can see a lot of partitioning was actually half done. So what are your challenges? Indeed, if you take over this kind of premises, you may have to do up the place on your own. So that is what I did. The reason is I like the location of this shop lot very much, and being on the second floor, the climbing up is of course inconvenience to most people. So the asking rental was not too exorbitant. In that scenario, if you are looking at renting a office place for your outlet, then the cost to consider would be the rental rate, as well as probably the size of the place and how big you want your office to be. Also, these are the few challenges doing up the place, depending on how much you want to do, how atas you want to feel. So the building itself, we talk about rental or self-own. If you actually own a shop outlet or commercial outlet, you can convert it to be your estate agency office. There is no issue about it. Of course, convenience, it has to be a commercial lot and it has to comply to our rules 1986 and the standard 1 of the Malaysian Estate Agency standard, being a commercial outlet. Of course, there are many places, the second floor and the third floor are residential use. Some lot or sublot of the commercial buildings. In fact, the whole block is commercial use. So that is the case for my building lah. So this particular building I have selected is a whole lot commercial lot, and it complies to the rules 1986 and standard 1 of MEAS. And it has medium size or medium to bigger size. Although you may choose to have a smaller office, there are reasons behind it. Later we will go one by one to discuss about the reason why a medium or a big size office is required, or you prefer a smaller size office. Again, the location suitability is an important issue. If you are looking at attracting traffic, then you want to be located at a place where passing by traffic can notice your outlet. So that means it's good for you to market your agency name, so that people driving along the road can actually catch the eye onto your agency. Of course, the other reasons would be, what are the landmarks? Being that people would want to know where is your office, then having a landmark would be easier to bring attention to people to come over to your office. If they look to landmark, then they can easily pinpoint where your location is. A lot of issue also relates to parking. We don't want a place where people come to office and can't get a parking. So that was my consideration as well for location based to have good parking and the surrounding development for the future. If you are estate agency practice, you want to be located at area where there are surrounding development in the future, and likely chances of getting rental businesses, also the commercial businesses mushrooming around it. So I selected this place as NJC because I'm staying around here, easier for me to come to office, as well as this is a up and coming area with big plot of land opposite the location that I am staying, this Pine Square area where you have big development ongoing. It's also called the future of Kuching development. Right. Now, if we say we rent a place, then you need to consider tenancy. In the case of short-term tenancy, you are not looking at subleasing it for 10 years. You are looking at maybe a tenancy of 1 to 5 years, so that you set down your foot, get your things ready, so that in the future, if you are doing all right, then you may want to, in a way, look for another or scout for another location. Also, 1 to 2 years tenancy first. Suitability of the place need to be tested, because you may see people not coming to this place due to traffic jam or due to other reasons. Then you may want to move to another location. In fact, I have heard of one agency having moved to 3 different locations already. Reason being, of course, traffic jam, expensive rental of the place. So they have selected earlier on based on the earlier suitability, which is a new upcoming area, but it became very traffic congested. Therefore, the agency moved. Of course, the issue of tenancy also relates to what are the terms, ready move-in terms, or renovation required, repair required. Is there a possibility of the owner making a basic renovation for you, or the owner want you to foot all the renovation costs? Is the place internet ready? Also is an important consideration, because you cannot be housed at a place where there is no internet. For that, our year in year out use of the IT is going to be indispensable. We are doing listing online, so there is a need of actually having internet. So what is your expansion plan is also a consideration that you need to talk about. And the issue of moving out. If you move out, is there restoration costs? What are the restoration costs involved? Because you can't actually discount that cost because of the fact that when you move out, you may have to spend money to restore the office. So these are consideration for a mid-term, a short to mid-term issue of renting an office for estate agency. Let me move on. So let's say timing. Now the green yellow arrows and also the orange bar on top try to signify there are a few indicator of timing. First is of course the most to the left, the green most to the left, where you are scouting a new place for your agency office. And then the second one is where you actually sign the rental or the tenancy agreement. Then the third one is the timing where you actually start your business. So my timing was actually looking for a place around August 2023. So the first arrow on the left is actually August 2023, and waited for the owner to do up certain repair. So it took some time for the owner because the owner did not act immediately. So I wasted actually September and early October waiting for things to be done. November, only then I actually started the rental. So the tenancy agreement started for me on the November until when I do up everything in 2 months is the end of December now. Also September and October was waiting time for the repair. November was given as a 3 month for renovation work to start the office, and then December I started paying. December I started paying the rental for the month. Also, this is planning for your time. In fact, if you can strike a good deal for the owner to give you time for repair and maintenance of the place, so that you have at least 1-3 months to do the repair and renovation. So you can see on the August 28th, I started doing the booking. So end of August was the booking, and we have a few spending in the month of October until the 31st of October. So these are repairs. Some of the pictures I will show later, and the eventual November will be more extended repair and renovation. So what are the hard ways of the office proper? So if you think about office proper, that means you need to have a certain standard. Is a partition done? Is there ceiling okay? Is there lighting? So is there leaking? So some of the issue is owner may not want to repair, and owner will say that you would have to repair as a tenant and you charge him back. So I did the repair for the leaking wall and I charged him back, and he was willing to pay up for the repair of the leaking, the cracking wall from the external wall. And then later on I take over in November so that I can do my own inside renovation. So if there are leftover partitions, things that are left over from the previous tenant or previous use, then you may want to make use of the previous ready-made things so that you don't spend too much money doing it all over again. So of course there are requirements. So do you need more rooms, therefore you need more partitions, or do you actually need to change the security so that you prevent others who has actually come to access of this place to return. So you have to make sure you change the main door key, the main door locking system. So much renovation basics I want to go through would be ceiling, flooring, partition, doorways, compliance to local council and BOMBA requirement, and then the entrance and the exit. So first is that aircon. If you are looking at higher building level, that means level more than second floor or level more than level 3, then you need skylift to reach the outer compressor unit of the aircon. So therefore, you may have to budget some spending for repair if you actually having an office that is on top or unreachable by normal way of repair. Also, this means that you have to consider spending more money using skylift, or having to choose a place where you can install the outer units, the outer compressor units, which you may spend money on the distance of the cabling or therefore increasing the cost of the installation. So of course the size of the room also, if you have big size room, then you meet the requirement of having a 12,000 or the 18,000 BTU types of aircon. So here, as you can see, it is a corner shop, so the aircon has to be installed next to the wall, nearby the window, so that the repair in the future can be easily reached. The technician can easily reach the repair if it is required, or cleaning up, or whatever servicing that is required of the aircon. So you can't actually install aircon any place as you want, for the reason that you need to do servicing and repair. So this is how it looks like. So the corner shop on the second floor, the skylift is usually required, and then the skylift nowadays charging for servicing of the external use would cost you at least 500 ringgit to as much as 1,000 ringgit for a day. So my experience for unit external, that means the compressor unit, install it at the place where it's reachable by the window, reachable by the window. Like in this case, which is lower, because they want to use normal ladder. So this is BTU or horsepower aircon. So BTU defines how much horsepower is required to cool a room effectively. Usually the 1 horsepower one is 9,000 BTU per hour of heat to be removed. So with better technology, some can actually remove up to 10,000 BTU per hour. So of course, bigger room, you have a higher amount to remove, and therefore you need a higher BTU. So for bigger space, you have to use higher one, which is 12,000 or 18,000. So of course there is some interpretation also in the, in the sense that using higher horsepower will take up a lot of electricity, and it's going to be expensive for office to bear. Therefore, of course, a bigger space office will have to consume higher amount of electricity. So this is the consideration for you to have a bigger office, and therefore having to cope with the requirement of the aircon. Unseen areas. In fact, unseen areas here means underneath the wall or floor, and then also electrical points. In case you inherit the premises from the previous tenant, the previous tenant has removed all the electrical points. In my case, the previous tenant removed all the electrical points, and I have to reconnect the new electrical points. So that means it costs money, and all these electrical points, it depends on how many sockets that you want, and there will be calculation based on how many sockets, and therefore charge to install these sockets. So lightings and internet stations, charging sockets, all these are important for you to plan. And at certain places you need to put projector, certain places you have standing fan or other types of electrical appliances. Especially at pantry area, you may need a socket for the fridge. You may need also one for the boiler. So all that you have to plan for your location, where about the few places. Partitioning also is usually unseen, because they come in a partition free. That means there's no partition in the empty shop space. So you have to do up the partition, how big partition you want to do, how many rooms you want, you need to really allocate. And also you cannot see those piping of water in the pantry, if there is any clogged drains or sinks, and issue of hygiene in the toilet. And important one is the back door escape route. Usually a shop area will have an entrance and also a back door at the back of the shop block. So this back door escape route, you have to check whether it is accessible or not. So my biggest single cost is actually aircon. You can see I have made a box of it, which is 6,150 for 3 aircons. If you are talking about more rooms, especially you have one principal room and you have 2 other smaller rooms for your senior negotiators, then you have to install an extra of 2 more aircons. So of course, the number of aircons depends on the space and the number of partition that you have. You can see the basic furniture only cost me about 2,000-3,000 ringgit. You can spend a lot of money on the furniture, because furniture can range from cheaper version of furniture to a very expensive, posh, exorbitant type of furniture. A small table, if it is a normal table, can cost you about 200 ringgit for a working table, a classic desk, and then it can also cost you a few thousand for executive types of table. So socket points and electricity, you can see I have boxed it out here, 3,008. Then the repair of the ceiling, 3,000. So all this cost is hidden, you cannot see, because as it's done, the ceiling and the lighting and everything is just an empty office. So this is how it looks like after I have made some repair. And basic on the floor, you can see it's a cement flooring. Wall has been painted. Walls and ceilings, we go to existing and new walls and ceilings. We have to do painting for the wall and also install wallpaper. If you choose to use wallpaper, then the range can be also high-end as well as the basic ones. So I choose to use 3D wallpaper. The painting, I almost do it all my own. So the painting and the wallpapers I install on my own. Plaster ceiling, I have to engage a plaster ceiling person for the suspended ceiling. Lighting points, of course, I get the electrician to do. Major costs for long term, these are the long-term purpose where you need to assign how many points and how much of effective lighting that you want. So if you have the walls, do you need the repainting, or you just want to cover up by wallpaper? So some of the plywood, the wall, I covered up with the 3D wallpaper. So what is the estimated cost and all those things for doing up the basic furnishing?